गए ये पेन है. Hello everyone, my name is Yash. I'm someone who's interested in learning data analytics. Hopefully we can get to the point where we can also start delving into data science. And this is a challenge that I've developed for myself. And hopefully, you guys can see me achieve it. More than likely you're gonna see me fail. If you are someone who has been subscribed to the channel, you would know that for a while I had made some decent progress, but you know, due to some, as you can see, uh, one of my family members, sadly passed away, and so in Indian tradition, you have to lose your hair and stuff, and you have to do all the rituals for that, and so and you have to handle the family business. It was a mess. I'm not going to bore you with the details. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to get started. So this is mostly about data visualization. This is the challenge I've given myself. We'll try to master data visualization in 15 days. This is day one. And so I've subscribed to two Udemy courses, which at least promise that you will master data visualization, dashboard, and all that stuff. So that's what we will start with. So yeah, let's get started.
Okay, welcome aboard, everybody. This is an Excel course, and let's just say this is a file you just got from your new job, and it's got a whole bunch of data on it, and this is your first assignment. So let's try to see what we can do with this file. First of all, as we see, the file name is customers, and in it is a lot of names about customers, countries where they're from, emails, lots of data. We're going to try to make sense of it and learn how to use it and how to use Excel's functions to maximize the data. Okay, so we see there's 3 worksheets. There's the customers worksheet, products, and returns. As we can see, we can zoom in here and see them down in the bottom. And the customers worksheet is constructed with 4 columns. As we can see here, customer ID, name, country, and email addresses. If we click on the A column here, we can highlight the whole column and we can see the total count of the column. There's 1,801 cells in the column. So not including the header, this would mean we have 1,800 customers. If we click on the arrow next to customer ID, we could sort it out and see all the customer ID numbers. Same goes for names, see all the unique names, and the arrow next to country, see a list of all the countries or states. And lastly, also for email, we can see all the emails in the file. Okay, if we click on the products worksheet, we can see the products worksheet is constructed of 3 columns. It has in it the product ID. Here's all the product IDs. There's a whole bunch of them here. And we have the second column, which is the price for each product. This is in US dollars, so a list of all possible prices and the category, what each product is, what kind of category it belongs in, with books, tickets, foods, and etc. Okay. So lastly, we have the returns worksheet. This worksheet is constructed of 3 columns, product ID, which we've seen earlier. This is actually what connects the returns worksheet with the products worksheet, the product ID, and additionally, the customer ID connects the returns worksheet with the customer's worksheet. In addition to this, we have the actual date here. The date format is written in the format month, day, year. This is quite common in the United States, in North America, to write the date like this. But this isn't the format which the date is written everywhere, worldwide. I personally use the day, month, year format, like such as this. There you go. Wait, don't need the equals. We do day, month, year. This is the European standard for the format of dates. Here, as we can see, the Excel even knows this cell is in the type of the date format. That's the type of cell it is. And for the other cells, it doesn't know this. Okay, let's delete this. So when we click on date, when we try to sort these cells, we can see that Excel has made a big mess out of all these dates, and these are just incorrect. It's not very coherent. There's something problematic with it. And play around, we could see it. Not all these dates are here. A lot of missing dates. Something's wrong here. So this probably leads me to the first lesson. We will be learning date and time, and we will be learning how to deal with these kinds of problems and how to play with dates in Excel. Okay, now we will begin to go over basic Excel functions related to dates and times. You can find all the relevant date and time functions by clicking on the function sign here, and then selecting the category date and time. Here we have a list of all of Excel's relevant functions. We can choose any of these functions and an explanatory window will appear. Here Excel explains what needs to be inserted in each field, very simply. Let's go over some of these basic Excel functions and see how they work. Our first function is the today function, which very simply returns today's date. To call any Excel function, we must first type in the equals character. Next, we call the specific function. And lastly, we open and close the function with parentheses. So we do equals, we call today, we open and close with parentheses, and we click enter. As we can see, Excel knows that this cell is now in date format and not general. Next, we have the now function. The same goes for now. we type in equal parentheses. Our next function is year, word year, and we send it to a specific cell that has a year in it. Here, B1. Then we click enter, and as we can see, it returns 2021, which is the year.
Yes.
Year in cell B1. The same goes for month. We type in month, we send it to B1, and it gives us the month in cell B1. And lastly, same goes for day. We type in day, give it B1, and it gives us the day in cell B1. As for the function hour, it asks for a cell with an hour. We type in hour, we send it to a cell that has an hour in it, B2, and it gives us the hour in that cell, 11. If we had given it a cell that doesn't have an hour, like B1, Excel would not know what to do with it and would return 0. For minute, we type in minute. Then we send it to a cell with a specific minute, and Excel will return that minute. And for second, we do the same. We type in second, send it to B2, and it gives us the second 28. Now, every time we click enter, Excel updates it to the relevant second. The function time builds us a specific time. Excel asks for an hour, a minute, and a second. So we type in time, we give it a specific hour, the hour in, let's say, B6, a specific minute, the minute in cell B7, and a specific second, the second in cell B8. We close it up, and we enter, and it gives us a specific time. Our next function is week known. Excel asks for a specific cell with a date. We send it to B1 and a format. By this it means which day of the week we suppose the week begins with, be it 1 Sunday, 2 Monday, and so on and so forth. So we could type in 2 Monday, the week begins on Monday. We click enter. This means we're at the 33rd week of the year. As for weekday, we type in the function, weekday, give it a date, and the format. Which day does the week begin with? Be it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth. We can say the week begins on Sunday. We type in 1. Be it 1 Sunday, 2 Monday, and so on and so forth. So we could type in 2 Monday. The week begins on Monday. We click enter. This means we're at the 33rd week of the year. As for weekday, we type in the function, weekday, give it a date, and the format. Which day does the week begin with? Be it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth. We can say the week begins on Sunday. We type in 1. We close the function and we click enter. And this would mean the specific date is a Tuesday. The function days returns this amount of days between two specific dates. So to do this, we type in days, we give it end date, comma, and for the start date, we do parentheses, and then we'll type in a specific date manually. Say, for instance, January 1st, 2021. 1/1/2021. We close it. This means there are 221 days between our date and the 1st of January. If we hadn't put these parentheses, Excel would not have known what to do. It would have been confused, and it would have given us a wrong date. We'll know how to deal with this later. These are Excel's basic date and time functions, the ones we really need to know well and know how to use. Additionally, if we click on a cell, we could change the formatting. We could change the date from a short date to a long date, or vice versa, a specific time format. We could click on more number formats, and we could do additional customization. Here, I can choose and call all kinds of different date and time formats. As we can see here, for date, gives me all types of possible date formats, as well as for time, the way I want my time to be shown. Additionally, for the date, I could change it based on a specific time zone, be it how they use the date format in the United States, as we see here, the 14th of March, 2012. This is how they do it in the United States. Or I could even use it to the time zone format in England. This is the European format for dates. This is the same goes for time. I could change it to however I best see fit. Additionally, I could customize my date and time formats to ways which aren't the default ways which Excel shows me. These are very specific, very unique formats.
Let's move on.
Okay, now we're back at our customers file, and we're going to fix our problematic date format, which we had earlier. The action necessary is actually quite simple. We highlight the column which we are working on, and we go to the Data tab. We click on Text to Columns, and this box appears. We could use this to separate our cells using a specific criteria. I will use the delimited option to show you how it works. I click Next. Now, Excel asks which character I want to use to separate my data. Delimiter, be it a tab, be it semicolon, comma, or space. In our instance, we could technically use a slash. As we can see, this is the data preview of what our data would look like if we were to use this option. But since we do not want to separate our data, rather we just want to alter it based on a specific date format, I'm not going to choose any option here of the delimiters, and I'm going to go into click on Next. Here, column data format option, I'm going to click on Date, and here I'll change DMY, date, month, year. I'm going to change this to month, day, year, which is the date format I'm trying to achieve. Click Enter, and as we can see, my dates and my data is now correctly formatted into the exact format I want. Very simple and very easy. I'm trying to achieve. Here, column data format option. As we can see, this is the data preview of. But since we do not want to separate our data, rather we just want to alter it based on a specific date format, I'm not going to choose any option here of the delimiters, and I'm going to go into click on Next. Here, column data format option, I'm going to click on Date, and here I'll change DMY, date, month, year. I'm going to
Data, text to columns, next, next, okay, date,
Changes to month, day, year, which is the date format I'm trying to achieve. Click enter, and as we can see, my dates and my data is now correctly formatted into the exact format I want. Very simple and very easy. Okay, another interesting feature is making connections between tables, as we've spoken about. In the returns tables, as I've said, we have the product ID, which is connected with a key to the product table. How are these connections actually made? We click on the data tab, then we go over to this little symbol here, which is the relationships button. We click on it, we click on new relationship, and on the table, we click on this worksheet where the table of the matching key is located. So here we'll click on returns. On the column, which is the key, we'll go to product ID. Then we'll go and find its matching key. We'll go to the products worksheet, product table, and the key again is product ID. We'll click OK. We'll wait for it to load. And now, as we see, we have created a new active relationship or connection between these two tables. We'll make the same connection between the second key we have with the returns table, customer ID.
Okay, let's do this ourselves. Okay, so let's first delete this. Okay, so what we have to do is okay, relationship, new. Okay, so customers, customer ID, product, returns, customer ID. And another one we have to create return product ID, product ID. Oh,
Customers, and the customer ID is the key again, the matching key. We'll click OK. And now, as we can see, we have created two active connections between our tables. This is quite useful, and we will see its usefulness later on in the course. For now, take this as a very good to know tool to know in Excel, and that's it. As you've all seen earlier, my tables and my graphs are quite organized. They have a header and a name and a specific design which I've chosen. Here, I will show you how to easily customize your table. If, for instance, we make a trivial table, let's say these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, I can customize my table by highlighting it, clicking on the Format as Table tab. Now that I've created a set table, if I click on any cell in the table, Table Design tab will appear. Here I can change my table's design, name, etc. based on any of the designs which Excel shows me or the default ones. Nextly, I can rename tables, and my graphs are quite organized. They have a header and a name and a specific design which I've chosen. Here, I will show you how to easily customize your table. If, for instance, we make a trivial table, let's say these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, I can customize my table by highlighting it, clicking on the Format as Table tab. Now that I've created a set table, if I click on any cell in the table, Table Design tab will appear. Here I can change my table's design, name, etc. based on any of the designs which Excel shows me or the default ones. Nextly, I can rename the table. I click on it, click on table name, and I can click on new table dash numbers here. Okay, now that we have a basic understanding of date and time functions, I want to add specific information columns to my data, specifically my date. The first column I'm going to add is a month column of the return date. Here is the month, and I'll change this color to a different color in order to differentiate my new columns. Now I'm going to use the function we've learned earlier, equals month, and here I'll send it to the cell which I want to extract information from. I'll click enter. As we can see, all the corresponding months for my date return shows up. Secondly, I want to add a week number column. So I'll go to the eFile, I'll type in week number, and in order to match this cell color to the new color to differentiate my new columns, I'll click on the color I want to match. I'll click on this brush here by the clipboard, and I'll click on the cell I want to paste it on. Next, all I have to do is type in equals week num, my function, send it to the cell I want for my date, and set the format to what date the week begins on. I'm going to choose Monday, and I'll click enter. Now we see all the week numbers for my returns. This is very useful for what I'm going to be teaching you very soon. Here,
Wait a second. I'll be back. ये कैसे बनाएगा यहाँ पे हो फिर हाथ धोया ना देंगे ना खाने में
Here, the next objective I want to perform is to add a price column here on column F. Type in price in the title, and I'll change the color to my relevant color. What I want to do in essence is here using the product ID for each product in the returns table.
Okay, first do that. I thought it wasn't important, but clearly it is. Okay. चलो
Using the worksheet products, I want to use the unique product ID and to match the price so as to put it in my new price column. The way I
let's create the price first, shall we? Hmm.
do this is using a well-known and useful function called VLOOKUP.
Mhm.
Here is an example table which I will be using. It shows very
Let's see if we try. The Excel gives you hint, right? So let's see if we can do this on our own. We look up, look up value, table array, index number, range, look up. Yeah, I don't know how to do this.
various football players, their names, the country which they originated from, their date of birth,
Mhm.
their year of birth, and their corresponding jersey numbers. Now, the VLOOKUP function has a very similar function called XLOOKUP. They perform almost the same task with slight differences. What they do in essence is they take a specific value, they search for this value in a specific table, and thirdly, they extract and find an answer depending on a criteria which we give it. Let's dive a little deep. For VLOOKUP, the first value which we need to give it is the unique ID, or the value which we are searching for. Usually this will be somebody's ID or something along those lines. The second value is we have to give it a table array, the whole table where also my value we're searching for is and what we are trying to extract. The third value is the column index number, the index number of the column where the answer we are trying to find is located. The fourth thing is optional, range lookup. It asks either 1 if you want an approximate match or 0 if you want. Third value is the column index number, the index number of the column where the answer we are trying to find is located. The fourth thing is optional, range lookup. It asks either 1 if you we are Excel numbers, it'll give us here. We will search for the value Lionel Messi using VLOOKUP, and we will search for it in the players table, this example table we have here. What we are trying to extract is the jersey number. To do so, for the call index number, we will give it the fifth column, 5. It is important to ensure that the value we are looking for is located in the leftmost column of our table. Okay, so what process does Excel take here? How does this work? It goes to the leftmost column and goes to the first cell in this column and asks, is this cell Lionel Messi? Then it goes to the second cell in here, because it is Lionel Messi,